Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Total War Attila Western Roman Empire campaign. So it's been a little while. If you watched my last little non-gameplay video in this series, you'll know that a recent patch to the launcher effectively broke this game and I think a few others, where basically mods were no longer able to be used through the launcher. The game would crash if you tried to load any. And so it made this campaign unplayable because the campaign, of course, has a bunch of mod dependencies. And so I couldn't load it without them, but I couldn't load the game with them. So, luckily, Genesis 2303 came to the rescue and told me of a way to effectively load mods by going around the launcher. And that seems to have worked. So, we should be back. I'm fairly certain all the mods are working. I went ahead and advanced the turn that we left off on last time, and I know it's been a while. But we ended off at the end of a turn, so I went ahead and advanced. And my modded troops, the Manalatoy Pikes, that are normally only the Eastern Roman Empire, were still there. They did still get recruited, which means that that mod was working properly. Let's see. The fact that the Sagittarii here, for example, are wearing the very dark red tunics with white pants is an indication that my faction color overhaul mod is working. And I'm sure there's a few other signs, but for the most part, it seems like everything's working. So we're going to continue forward and hope that no other problems show up to derail this campaign. But, as you can see here, when I advanced the turn, the Huns decided to attack Savaria. Now, they do outnumber us slightly, but some of that is cavalry, and of course cavalry is not going to count for much in a, well, it's not a walled city, so it may count for a little bit here, but, for the most part, cavalry is not the best thing to be bringing to, you know, a village assault. We have some cavalry as well, but not nearly as much as they do. But numerically, it's more or less even, I would say. They do have artillery, however, which is something that we don't have. And so we're going to have to just play defensively and hope that they waste all their ammo, or at least don't use it as effectively as a human player probably would. They also are bringing quite a bit of decent melee infantry. Now, normally Hunnic armies don't have a lot of these. Not that they don't have access to them, they just don't particularly use them. Bosphorian warriors, for example, are pretty solid. I would say about even with Legio. And so we don't see these too often with Hunnic armies. Normally they run very heavy on cavalry, but in this case, this Hunnic army is actually better suited to this type of battle than most that we face. So this could prove difficult. Again, I have no counter for the artillery. They have a slight numerical advantage, at least I think. I didn't do the math, but let's do the math real quick. So that would be 1020, and so 1620. Yeah, they have us by like 100 guys, which isn't that much, but still, they have a slight numerical advantage. They have a cavalry advantage. Although I think I'm fielding, no, archers are equal, and theirs are probably better quality, so yeah, this is looking a little bit rough. Let's go ahead and jump in, and then hopefully we can, you know, take care of some actual faction or, you know, empire management after this. But yeah, it's good to be back. Okay, so the plan here is going to be to hold this, I guess this is the northernmost part of the village. We do have sort of, you know, walls intermittently blocking this. I've deployed my one barricade over here with some Legio on it, so they'll be able to use their javelins to attack anybody that comes close, and then once the barricade falls, they'll be able to hopefully hold it on their own. In this entryway here, which does have a slope to it, I have two Legio standing at the top of it, waiting to attack anybody that tries to come up. And what I'll probably do is, as they start coming up, I may break these guys out of Testudo and charge them down, so that we meet them somewhere in the middle, which is a better choke point than allowing them to kind of flood through here. But also that will give them an opportunity to throw some of their javelins before they close. On this side, it's sort of the same, but I did have some Auxilia Palatina, so I deployed those in front. I don't know if that'll be helpful or not, but this is the biggest entrance to this upper area, so I figured I would put a little bit more effort into guarding that. And then on this side, I have some Legio in Testudo with my Germanic Warband behind them. These guys don't have any like shield wall formations, so I've deployed them in the back. And my thought is, I didn't want to leave a unit by itself over here, so if they come this way, then I'll have some extra support. If they don't, then this unit could be used to perhaps come around and flank anybody attacking there. Same goes for the Legio, but obviously they're a little bit more defensive. And then all of my cavalry is deployed over here because that's where the enemy artillery is. My hope there is that they will commit their forces through the front, or down the middle, and keep the artillery in the back mostly isolated, and then I can send my cavalry in around the left flank to maybe destroy it before it does any serious damage. And then let's see, I've deployed the archers in loose formation behind the main line here. We'll see if that turns out to be you know what, let's actually shift this one slightly. We'll put it over here just to better deal with them coming from that side. And then this one will just kind of move more toward the middle. Actually, that little rock is kind of in the way there, this thing. Maybe that would be better. Either way, that's fine. And then the general is hiding in this, like, what would you even call that? It looks like the Colosseum almost. But it looks like people have built, like, houses in here? I don't know. I don't know what to call this. But the general and the Praeventores are in here, where they can be deployed, or at least to the middle, fairly easily. So the general can, I think, rally both of these groups from there. Maybe? Maybe not. It looks like he probably can. And then the Praeventores, since they don't have very good missile defense, will hide back here, and then wherever I need additional support, I can rush them over there. So let's go ahead and get started. And we'll speed things up a bit because it will take them a while to get over here. And what we're looking for basically is just how they're going to deploy their cavalry. It looks like, for the most part, they've only got one over here, and they are going to commit it down the center. So I'm going to commit mine to the left flank, and it doesn't look like they're going to try to counter. They might. Nope, no they're not. Okay. Then you guys are immediately going to break for that. Oh, hold on, I didn't select them. That's being weird. You guys have already taken a lot of casualties. Is that from the artillery? I think the artillery is focus firing these guys. That is a shame. Alright, so let's commit you guys over here. I would prefer if you guys could maybe thin them out. Let's see. No, don't dismount. We'll put you on skirmish mode. Do what you can to those step warriors, and I'm going to have you guys maybe come after these archers. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, they got hit pretty hard by that artillery, but it can't really be helped. They're moving pretty hard on that flank. I don't know that these guys are going to be able to hold over there. But it looks like we'll be able to take their artillery pretty early, which is good. I didn't think they would leave it that open. Yeah, that Legio's like already gone. I think these guys are doing the most damage. But we are firing into the backs of their axemen, so at least there's that. You can't linger too long there. Oh man, you guys got obliterated.
Nothing but ash now.
Let's see, come on, defeat them quickly and move on. Over here, things are looking a little bit better on this side. I didn't really get a chance to countercharge there, but it is cavalry, so that wouldn't have worked anyways. Yeah, keep firing into the backs of those. You know what? Use your fire arrows, but keep laying into those guys. I'm gonna move you over here and get you ready to flank, because it looks like they're gonna mostly ignore that other group. So their artillery is gone. Let's commit you there. And as soon as I can, I'm going to move you guys in and try to hit them from behind. because that is shock cav. It should do a decent job of that. Praeventories, I need you over here because that is already falling through. Let's get you guys over there as well. Again, I don't think they're going to bother us over there. And you know what? Let's get you guys to commit this way. Keep hitting them in the back. I need you to get in that fight. And let's get you in the fight over here. You should be able to hold them temporarily to let us recover. How are we doing in the middle there? General, I need you to rally these guys. You're just standing there. Do something. Anything. I don't know if light bow... These are very light, are they? No, they're just regular light cavalry. I don't know if we'll be able to catch them. But we did rout that group. So, I'm going to chase them through. Let's redeploy the Legio here. Since these two groups are a little bit more mobile, we'll deploy them there. Oop, wrong way. We'll deploy them there. And then sandwich everybody in here. And their general's in there too, so that should allow us to take them out pretty effectively. If we kill the general, I would think that that's going to be pretty much the end of that army. So, come on, double time it. Interesting. So Praeventories can buff people as well. Can you skirmish with them a little bit? You don't even need to do that much damage, just make them waste their ammo, because they're pretty much out already. What are they doing? Why did you stop? If they want to tangle with the Axemen, I guess that's fine. Encourage them. I need you to get in that fight. I'd prefer you pile in too. You guys should have been cycle charging. That's my mistake. Go ahead and fire into that group. Honestly, if we do casualties to ourselves, I don't really care. Over here, it looks like the Legio is holding. That's fantastic. You guys maybe fall in there and just see what you can do. But we have effectively sandwiched them, and it looks like they are starting to break. So let's just make sure everybody's piled in on this. And I didn't mean to charge you, but fine. Get in there. At this point, I don't think you're in too much danger. Do not let him escape, though. Let's see, can I select that unit? Yeah, don't let him escape until the general's dead. And what are you doing? You know what? Go after them. I think this one is about over. The general is dead, and everything that they had in the center there is routed. So, now it's just a matter of running down what cavalry remains. Which is easier said than done, but there isn't much of it, so now we just need to get after them. And any remaining Legio I have can come help out over here. Actually, you guys can do that as well. Yeah, come kill them. You guys should be firing at those guys. And let's make sure we get all these archers. Come on. Alright, and we'll speed things up a bit because this is effectively over. But that actually went a lot smoother than I thought it would. The AI made some pretty terrible tactical decisions there. Leaving their artillery completely exposed was probably the biggest one. Committing their cavalry too early definitely didn't help. And then they decided to attack my strongest defensive points, which was kind of a head scratcher as well. I need more help over here, if you guys don't mind. Everybody jump in on that. Go on. Help them out. Why is it acting weird? There we go. I don't know why they were like running out into the middle of that fight, but okay. Come on. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. They are running out of ammo. They just broke. I don't think they're dead though. Chasing these guys down is going to be a bit of a problem, but there we go. There's our victory. Let's see what we can clean up, and then we'll come back once I've slaughtered as many as I can. Alright, so let's have a look at the numbers there. It said it was a close victory, but We killed 2 of them for every one of ours that fell, so I'm pretty happy with that. We also effectively wiped out this entire army. Only 3 units survived, 2 of which were badly damaged, but the rest is all gone. The real MVP of this battle was the Germanic Warband. They got 322 kills. Those are like cavalry numbers. I rarely see foot infantry get, well, all infantry is foot infantry, isn't it? I rarely see infantry get kill numbers that high. I think it's because we were able to maneuver them in behind the main enemy force, and so they were basically hacking people in the back with their axes. And then I think they were able to run down one of the War archers and just slaughter them entirely. The Steppe Lancers did pretty well, 175 kills, although they were nearly wiped out themselves. And then 205 for the Scout Equites, which is pretty good, but again, they took a lot of casualties for it. This Legio unit did absolutely fantastic, 206 kills, and they only lost like 22 men. So basically they had like a 10-to-1 kill-death ratio. Unfortunately, not a lot of my other troops did that well. But the Legio's job was more to hold the line than anything, so I'm not surprised that they didn't get kills. But, you know, it would have been nice if they did a little bit better. And then the archers underperform, as they always do. The Steppe Bowmen actually did fairly decent, 87. So I'll take that. And we'll, of course, take the unit replenishment. Okay, so apparently the 11th Legion lost their general. So the only person I have available at the moment is Anatolius Aurelius Funarius, who's a patron, which means I'd rather have him govern than be a general, but I have no choice at this point, and unfortunately it's going to cost me a good chunk of gold, but what can I do? So it looks like, oh, they murdered one of my generals. I'll have to see which one that was. Oh no, Firmius Figulus. Damn, that sucks. Well, I guess that means we need more agents, right? That's one thing that we've been a little bit behind on, is spies. Spies or champions. We have a lot of priests, and in fact we've used them pretty effectively, but that sucks, losing a rank 4 general like that. And one that you guys named, no less. So, oh, we got some disease happening. Matter of state that we'll need to look into, and Marinus Celestius managed to secure his promotion. Looks like Vedius Praetextatus did as well. And let's see, Appius Odo's loyalty has been secured. Alright, so it's been like 2 months since we played last, so I think it's worth having a quick survey of where we stood before we took that very long, you know, bug-induced break. We're still at war with the Picts. Again, my intent is to subjugate them and force them to use their armies to support me, because the amount of gold that province or that settlement would generate if I controlled it is a very small fraction of what it would cost me to field an army. Whereas if I leave it to them but force them to, you know, serve me, they'll be able to generate maybe 2 armies off of it. Plus then I can levy cheap Celtic troops, which is always nice. But this army will eventually make their way up there. I think I have to wait until summer though, because there's snow here even in spring. There may be snow year round, I don't think so though, but we'll see about summertime. But we'll slowly march them up there. It looks like there is some upgrades that can be had here, but we'll look at that in a second because I need to see if there's, you know, anything more pressing. We have our very small navy here that was built to deal with the Saxons, who ultimately weren't much of a threat. And then, of course, we have this legion here, the 6th Legion under Lucius Veranius, basically just making sure that Colonia Agrippina doesn't fall, because anytime I leave it unguarded, it does. And then we have several legions along our eastern border here, like northern Illyria. Well, I think this is a little bit further north than that even. But this is where the Huns have been giving us the most trouble, so this is where we've fortified the most. Now this legion, if I'm not mistaken, was actually in the process of training troops before they got attacked by the Huns. So unfortunately, they were, you know, able to slow us down there. I don't know if I want to keep training pikemen. That is why the Emperor is down here, because if you guys recall, we moved him south to start training Renalatoy pikes, because this is the only place where we can get them. And that left Sirmium open, but it doesn't appear that they have any interest in attacking it, at least not yet. It also helps that the Macedonians, I believe, I'm pretty sure those Macedonians, went after the Huns and actually attacked them after we defeated them, so that is kind of nice. Let's see, so we need to obviously build up this legion. Why it's so under strength, I don't recall. That I'm blanking on a bit. I don't remember why this legion's here with so few men, but obviously we're going to need at least a legio. At least we have Ballistari, that's something. Oh, you know what? The Ballistari weren't there in that battle. They did get trained. Okay, so these were in the process of recruiting, and had we lost that battle, or if they had sustained the siege, they would have delayed it, and they probably would have been better off in doing so, because they basically just got handed a defeat and didn't slow me down at all. Let's see, which general is this? Appius Brutus? Let's give you Wolf Pelt, sure. That'll help. You are defending, so that morale bonus will be nice. And let's see, when reinforcing and when in owner allied territory. So I think in that last battle, if he'd had this, we would get all 15 points. Because technically, well, I don't know if this army was reinforcing or if the garrison army was reinforcing. I think it said the garrison army was. So maybe not the 10, but definitely the 5, because obviously we are in our own territory. Over here, having additional campaign spotting wouldn't be a bad idea at all, because we'd have greater sight lines into where the Huns are coming from. I think that makes sense, actually. Let's take that. And then here, that's better for governor. I think most of these are better for governors. We're not fighting Romans, so that's not going to help. Let's see, recruitment cost. I mean, that's not terrible. We do have a bunch of Ballistari that would get cheaper, but I don't know if that's like the best. We've already recruited them, so that's not going to help. And a lot of these would better suit governors, not generals, but I think we'll take this one. And then let's give him some authority and integrity. And let's see, melee defense, and morale training. I generally prefer to go this way, because this gives me bonuses to infantry and cavalry, whereas over here, actually, you know what, that is generally better, because that's for the entire force, that +3. This is only for the infantry. The thing, though, is that these traits take you into... you know what, those are useful for generals as well, but generally this side of the tree is a little bit more utilitarian and better suited to governors, but there are some things in here that would benefit generals. So I'm going to take that one. And definitely keeping you guys, because you are absolute beasts. We're getting 1 Legio, and I think I will fill the rest of the ranks out with Auxilia Palatina. I mean, not the rest, not like all 6 slots, but at least like 4 of these guys. We'll start with 3, because that's all I can do right now. But yeah, we'll get... You know what? Let's do 4 of those first, because we're fighting more cavalry than anything, and I can use these in the same way that I use my Legio, or at least sort of. So let's get our spear wall done first. We'll do 4 of them. We'll do 1 more Legio. And I wouldn't mind some more artillery, but certainly some more cavalry. Definitely need more cavalry. You guys have a full 20, so you're good. We actually have some Cantari in there, which is, I think, a fairly recent development. You guys need cavalry as well. But you're not going to get it. Oh, you are going to get it here, apparently. I've also considered changing all of my Legio over to Armigeri Defensores, just because they are effectively the same unit as Legio, but offensive-oriented rather than defensive. The problem I always have with the Legio is their abilities, or like their main strengths, are conflicting. So you can't use, let's click on this so it will stay. You can't use the javelins while you're in stationary testudo. So you can either choose to use these guys as like heavy skirmishers, or if you're going to attack, you can unload those as you're charging, or you can hang back and stay in testudo, but you can't use the javelins defensively. At least not without, risking taking a lot of range casualties yourself. Whereas the Armaguiri Defensores have mobile testudo, which allows them to move forward while protecting themselves. They don't have the javelins, so they can't, deal casualties on the approach, but this effectively makes them completely resistant to enemy archers as you engage, which to me is probably better than, a couple kills from javelins. They also have shield wall, which is okay, I guess. I don't know why you would use it over the mobile testudo. I guess if you were trying to be defensive, it does add a little bit of a shield bonus and a little bit of attack bonus. So if you were getting attacked, I could see using that. But the plus 200% entity mass and the missile block chance charging into an enemy is fantastic. So I've considered making that switch, but I've already got so many Legio, it's hard for me to justify that overhaul for a marginal benefit. So I don't know that I will. But here, I think I'm going to take more Kantari. Although, having melee cav versus shot cav is something to consider. Because generally melee cav is more resilient. So in sustained combat, these guys would probably last longer. And shot cavalry, while useful, has limited uses. You basically use it to flank the enemy. You can use them to run down archers, although that's not the best way to use them. And because they're heavier, there's certain things that they just won't catch. Whereas these guys are lighter, but they have a better cavalry counter. They also can throw javelins, so if you were going to use them as shot cavalry, you could deal damage with those before hitting in melee. And then again, they're just generally more resilient than it looks like health-wise it's the same. These guys have slightly better armor, but the melee defense is a huge difference. So it's kind of a tough call. In this case, I think I'll take the Kantari because they're slightly cheaper. And also, I already have some melee cav. I actually really, I mean, you guys probably know by now if you've been watching this series, but the Germanic Mounted Warband is like my favorite cavalry in the game. It's just so useful in so many different facets because they're very, very fast. I think they're actually faster than the Dalmatian cavalry. Whoops, I don't need mercenaries. Let's see. Speed, yeah, they're 11 points faster than the Equites Dalmate, despite both being light melee cav. So, I just find them incredibly useful because they'll catch anything, including a lot of the steppe horse archers. They will run them down, and that's such a nice ability to have. So, Savaria, unfortunately, is going to need some repairs, although they seem pretty minimal. And then we need to figure out who, or I guess I can make a cut here and come back when I've spent the rest of this money, because you guys don't need to see me like search through all the building tabs. But that's something we'll need to take care of as well. So let's go ahead and do that, or I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and deal with this. Alright, so I've spent most of our money. We have a little bit left just in case we need it for diplomacy or something. Let's jump into our faction tab and see what this is all about. So a fugitive has arrived, claiming to be the agent of a rival power. He has requested asylum, but his former employers are demanding his return. He has offered us valuable state secrets should we protect him. I'll grant him asylum, yeah. I don't know. I wish it would tell you like where he's from. Obviously we know because they're demanding his return. It's not like there's just some like mysterious figure saying, hey, give him back. We would need to know who to give him back to. So yeah, I wish we would know, because I wouldn't cross an ally for this, but for a neutral faction or an enemy, I would of course do it. So I'll grant him asylum and we'll see what comes of it. Now, our offices are basically full, but we'll see if there's anybody that we can maneuver around here. It looks like you could be demoted, and we can make somebody else Master of Soldiers. Or, excuse me, Master of Foot. But, why is it being weird? Come on, scroll. That would effectively waste both of those slots for a turn. So I think we're going to give Gaius Lucullus a promotion, and that'll open up a position down there. And also effectively waste some of his influence, which is something I constantly need to do. We have a lot of bad loyalty happening here, which is a bit concerning. Let's see. So our eldest daughter finally came of age and married to Publius Pompeius Potitus, or Potitus, who hopefully will start earning some influence because we need it. Is there anything better than that? I feel like I saw... Yeah, so this ambitious magistrate not only gives us the +5 there, but some sanitation as well. So I think that's a nice little net benefit. Research rate is great and all, but is there anything else that we could do here? Only for religious buildings, huh? That's only for ports. I guess that's fine, because I don't mind having the additional research rate. And then I don't need you to have any special armor or anything. So that works. What else? I'm almost tempted to make the Emperor a governor. Just because with the way we're fighting these wars right now, very defensively, it's going to be very hard for him to gain influence. And that's something that we've kind of struggled with for a lot of our generals, actually. Like Titus Pullo, despite being like, what, a 7-star general, has pretty much no influence and hasn't had any for a long time. Which, you know, makes things very difficult. So I think, at least in the case of the Emperor, it may be worth, you know, moving him into a cushier position. And then is there anybody here with, like, really bad... There were a couple pretty bad loyalties, but I'm more concerned with the people toward the top. The ones toward the bottom are a little bit more, you know... or a little bit less of an issue, I guess is a better way to put that. So, like, him is a 1-star governor. Not really that big a deal, but like a 3-star general, it's a little bit more concerning. So I'm actually gonna try with your wife, because I think that 46 influence will be enough if anything goes wrong. Yeah, so it was you. And I'd rather not waste your influence if I can help it. But yeah, we may move the Emperor out of commanding that legion. The question is, where would we put him as a governor? Because I believe the post of, yeah, Attila is already taken. So, unfortunately, that's no longer an option. Now, Liguria would be another potential place to do it, because I believe Mediolanum is our capital, yeah. So that makes as much sense as anywhere else. In fact, Rome would be a bad place to put him. Because at this point in history, of course, this was the capital. And at times, I think in the reign of the historical... of course, my emperor is not the same as like the historical emperor. We renamed him. But Honorius was eventually moved to Ravenna and I think stayed there for a while. And was ruling... Well, he was never really ruling Rome. He was sort of a puppet. But he was, you know, holding court in Ravenna for a long time. While I believe he's dead at this point. But yeah, Flavius... that's not right. Flavius Augustus. I forget his name. But there's Theodosius. Why can't I remember his name? It's Flavius something, but everybody was a Flavius at that point. He was the Magister Militarum and effectively ruling the Western Roman Empire at that point. And what was interesting is that he was half Vandal, and so there was a lot of like anti-barbarian sentiment at that time, and that was eventually what caused his downfall. And then somebody else took over pulling the strings for Honorius. So, anyways, now that we're off on that tangent, let's jump into diplomacy. So we made peace with the Abdanians temporarily. We do have a trade agreement with them, but eventually we're going to turn them into a client state as well. That's our goal with the Picts too. Let's see. Why are the names not showing up? That's a bit odd. These are the Burgundians, if I recall. Yeah, there's no names. That's another bug. I'll have to look into that. But I'm pretty sure those are the Burgundians. Let's
The guards will have me
offer a
listen to
non-aggression
you,
pact,
but
and they're
do
not
pass
interested. Well, hopefully that continues to improve. With the Franks, we're trying to get them to take Tulliferdum from the are they the Utes or the Geats? I don't remember which one that is. I think those are the Geats. But the goal is to get them to take that and eventually start expanding. The Alamans are friends of ours, finally, and that's continuing to improve. We have a non-aggression pact, but we're hoping for a defensive alliance. And oh, they accepted with no money. That is awesome. And it looks like they're already allies with the Franks, so we might be able to turn this into like a Northern European, like, triumvirate type thing. Also, can we continue to push it? Yes. Okay, good. So we got the military alliance. I'll offer them military access as well, for a small fee, of course, so that they can, you know, maneuver around where they need to. Sure. Yeah. As long as you're giving me something. Alright, so we've got them as, like, full allies now. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, these are the Geats. They are our biggest enemy right now outside the Huns. And they do hold a little bit of, I guess you'd call that Northern Germany. However, I'm trying to get the Franks to, you know, deal with them for me. I wouldn't mind sending the Alamans after them either, but I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. And then, let's see, of course we're at war with the Huns. That's the biggest one, and the most constant threat. You guys aren't really an issue. Actually, these guys were. If I could get the Alamans to attack them, that would actually be really helpful. Let's try that. I don't remember who the hell these guys are, but I can remember the thing. So it's like green with like red wings or something on it. Let's see if we can get the Alamans to deal with that problem for us, because I don't want to expand my territory here. I'd rather not do that. So if I can get them... Are they already at war? Oh, they are. Okay. The problem is I can't do multiple war targets, so the Franks need to deal with them first. Then I'll issue a war target for the Alamans to take them. Or maybe they'll do it on their own. You know, who knows. But that would be ideal, because then they'll get more powerful as our allies, and I don't have to worry about even, you know, dealing with it. Oh, you guys still have names. That's good. Then we have the Macedonians, who've been pretty helpful up here. They're actually sending armies against the Huns. And then we have the Dacians, who were doing the same thing briefly, but then kind of backed off. And that's about it. Where are the Garamantians? I don't remember what their thing is, but the Garamantians are... Well, I guess they would be my... Yeah, my puppets. There they are. So, our relations with them are increasing without my input now, so that's fantastic. We don't need to keep throwing money at them.
Please be seated
And I guess now what we need to do is start a war with the Gaetulians and get the Garamantians to conquer them. I was also trying to get the Garamantians to take this barren, desolate area that was once theirs, but I had to raze to the ground, unfortunately. However, they don't seem interested. And also, I think we were going to attack, yeah, the Gaetulians, so I was already setting up for that. Was I sending this army over there? I don't remember. I have this one standing by. But I don't remember if I was also sending this one that way as well. Where's our border with them? So it's right up to here. Okay, is there any mercenaries I can grab here? Because I wouldn't mind some more desert legionaries. It doesn't look like it. So let's march you guys out to... We will take some attrition here, but we'll march you out to there. Of course, the only attrition we suffer is with our general now, which we still need to be careful of because we don't want him to get killed marching. But I think attacking like this is probably the better approach. That way, if I commit everything south, I don't need to worry about them, you know, trying to rush me to the east or something. Maybe abandoning their settlement and moving for something of ours. So we'll get these guys set up, maybe even in enemy territory. We'll move them in here. I don't obviously care if we piss them off. And then we'll basically just surround them in fortified stances and hope that the Garamantians take the hint. Or if we have to, we can wait and do a war target. But obviously, you know, that kind of depends on how everything plays out. So, is there anything else we need to do? I feel like there's recruitment that needs to happen, but I don't remember where. You guys probably shouldn't continue to sit in that spot. Marcianopolis is in the same... Yeah, so why don't you go up here? Because that's more likely to get attacked by Huns. I think we had a rebellion down here, maybe? And I had to move them there or something, but that apparently has been dealt with. And so let's get back up here where the Huns are more of a threat. You're at full strength. The Emperor is about to be. And again, I think we should probably... Let me know what you guys think, but I think making him a governor is probably smarter at this point. Titus Pullo, you're our best general. I'd like to keep you in the field, obviously, but without you seeing any action, it's difficult for you to, you know, gain any influence. And then Appius Brutus is training up an army right now. Again, we'll get one more Legio. We'll abandon the random archers here. And there's no mercenaries at all, huh? That's a shame. Oh well. We'll abandon the mercenary archers and try to get some more cav. I'll probably get rid of this cav as well. Although it is nice cheap cav, it's just there's better cav out there. And you are at full strength, which is fine, and you're defending against these guys. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and advance then, and we'll just carry the money over to the next turn and see if there's any way for us to spend it there. Alright, so apparently another general of ours has been assassinated, and I'm going to have to pay another hefty fee to replace him. I don't know who it is. I guess we'll see in a second. I hope it was nobody important. It's not going to tell me, is it? Okay, well, somebody died of natural causes. Tarpeia Flavia Caesar, who I think was our... Was he my governor in Liguria? Because if that's the case, that works out pretty nicely, where we can just, you know, stick the Emperor in that slot. Otherwise, oh good, our loyalties, or that loyalty was secured, office secured, without any trouble. So who was assassinated? Wait, what? It's saying that somebody was assassinated, but then this is saying it was natural causes. That is not natural causes if somebody helps him into the afterlife. Food shortage resolved. That's good. Yeah, so I guess Tarpeia Flavia Caesar was the one that was killed. So... great, I guess. Right, so we appointed that other guy. I don't even recall who that person was. But it looks like he was not the governor of Liguria. That was Vindonius Crassus. So was there an army in... There's no army in Mediolanum. I am so confused. It said he died here, but there's no army there. That's why I assumed it was a governor. But let's see. Appius Brutus is still there, so obviously that wasn't where the assassination took place. Nor was it here. Nor was it... I mean, I don't see any other agents of theirs. Maybe they have a spy in Liguria that I don't know about, but who would they have assassinated? There's nobody there. I'm I'm so lost. I hope this isn't like bugs because of the weird game break thing that I had to make a workaround for, but it could potentially be. Anyways, I think we're out of time, so we'll end here, and between episodes I'll go ahead and spend our treasury on more building upgrades, and then we'll pick back up in the next episode with some army movement, and I think we'll reappoint the Emperor to be governor of Liguria, unless you guys don't think that's a good idea. So I'll leave it up to you, but if so, we'll do it in the next episode. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Total War Attila with you again. It's been a while, and I really enjoyed this game. I was pretty disappointed when the new patch just randomly broke it out of nowhere. But we're back, and it seems to be working. I need to figure out some of the issues we're having, but at least we can play again. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.